Легаль, scheißegal.
Всем привет, это рубрика «Легаль, scheißegal». Сегодня мы находимся в Берлине на легендарной улице Rigaer Straße. Вот я, видите, в таком образе нео, там левая, красная таблетка анархизм, синяя таблетка капитализм. Вы знаете, какую таблетку употреблять. Мы употребили анархизм. В общем, Rigaer Straße — это одна из легендарных, может быть, самая легендарная улица во Фридрихсхайне, самом левацком, анархистском квартале Берлина. Здесь находится огромное количество бывших сквотов, панк-мест, баров. Сейчас большинство из них это хаус-проекты. Но вот совсем рядом, на Rigaer Straße 94, это такое культовое место, культовый сквот, и за него, по-моему, битва была с полицейскими там 2 или 3 дня. И до сих пор это как бы частично нелегальное место, частично его уже легализовали. В общем, мы здесь, в самом эпицентре всего левацкого. И сегодня мы придем в гости и пообщаемся с Паулем Нагелем, или Пауль Гeigerzähler. Пауль — музыкант, анархист, сквотер, участник ФАУ, берлинского анархистского профсоюза, но берлинской ячейки. Сегодня мы с ним поговорим, побываем в его хаус-проекте. Левая рука и синяя таблетка анархизм, правая капитализм. Что принимать, вы знаете. Погнали.
Niemand sieht mich heulen, meine Welt bricht an zwei. Macht euch doch selbst kaputt, bevor es jemand anders tut. Macht euch doch selbst kaputt.
Блять, изменилось. Блять, опять. Непонятно вообще, что это. Das, блять, hat sich gewendet написано. Das, блять, изменился. Ну, в общем, ясно одно, что Путин — это блять. Мы прогуляемся вместе с Паулем по этому кварталу и по таким главным точкам, бывшим сквотам, которые там в конце 80-х, начале 90-х занимали анархисты и сквотеры. Сделаем такую прогулку и покажем то, что сможем показать, потому что снимать нигде нельзя, это мы помним, но покажем и расскажем. И Пауль, который идеальный просто проводник и знает здесь практически все, и, в общем, за плечами у него там 20 или 30 лет сквотерства. Он нам расскажет про разные места, про какие-то сквоты, и мы это покажем, так что все увидите. Ja, hallo Paul. Wir sind draußen, wir sind in der Nähe von 94, diese Spot. Okay. Bis bald. Идет Пауль.
Пизда нам.
Легаль, scheißegal.
Пауль изумительный музыкант. И он как бы из панк-сцены, и его такая ДНК — это панк-сцена, панк-движение и музыкальное, и идеологически. Но творчески он совершенно не похож на как-то мейнстримный, типичный любой другой панк. У него такой уникальный свой стиль. Он играет на скрипке и поет песни одновременно. Это вообще редко кто может играть на скрипке и петь одновременно. Gleichzeitig. И или такой spoken poetry у него, такие политические, ну, в общем, разные тексты. Удивительный такой свой стиль. В общем, он прекрасный музыкант. Это раз.
Во-вторых, Пауль анархист, ну, что называется, анархист такой реальный. То есть он не теории, хотя он прекрасно в теории разбирается, и он очень много читает, начитанный, образованный. Из семьи художников, у него там мама художница, в коммуне живет, такой арт-коммуне, папа писатель, журналист, но он практик анархизма, и это очень ценно, то есть не просто попиздеть, как любят многие российские анархисты, а он занимался сквотерством, он в этом профсоюзе анархистов, вот в этом ФАУ. Он очень много делал для working class people, там, для рабочего класса, для мигрантов, золи всякие штуки. В общем, 20 или 30 лет у него такого бэкграунда активистского, деятельного, сквотерского, такого практического анархизма, за что это просто гигантский респект. И при этом, как я сказал, он очень образованный еще. Что? Да, вот, кстати, идет Пауль. Так что я все классные слова сейчас сказал, пока он не слышит. Потом будет критика. Нет, конечно. В общем, и в теории он тоже очень хорош, анархистской, и не только. И он очень открытый человек сам по себе, поэтому Пауль вот такой вот паулизмус. Вот мы слышим свист, вот этот паулистический свист анархистский, это Пауль. Сейчас он появится и улыбнется нам всей своей паульей, не побоюсь этого слова, улыбкой. Вот, и он еще и по-русски говорит. Вот где вы встретите, чем пиздат Пауль? Он не просто берлинский анархист, сквотер и музыкант, он еще говорит по-русски. Несколько слов по-русски, Пауль.
Я говорю по-русски очень плохо.
Всем привет. Легаль, scheißegal. Сейчас мы находимся у Пауля в его хаус-проекте, где он живет. И, в общем, поговорим сейчас о разных вещах с Паулем. Пауль, hi, say hi.
Hi.
No future. Hi, anarchists, hi.
Ja, dobry wieczór.
Paul, would you agree with me if I say, like, maybe it's a speculation, but that you have 4 identities? An anarchist, a musician, an East Berliner, and a Serb. Would you agree with this?
Somehow, yes. Maybe fifth. I'm also a guy from Saxony. And this is very contradictive identity. It's sort of multiple personality, maybe.
Yeah.
No, but actually it fits all into one identity somehow.
Yeah, of course. But I think that we will speak about each of your identities and this contradictory identity also, that you're from Saxony. And let's talk about politics. At first, you've been a long time in FAU, this anarchist union, and can you tell a bit what FAU
is doing, and what are you doing in this? What were you doing in this organization?
I mean, I'm still a member of the FAU, but quite an inactive one. That's why I can't say so much about FAU now. Some yes, but I'm not completely inactive. I'm quite informed.
Yeah, but you've been active a lot of years.
When I went to FAU, I was I think 20 or 21, and I just had a job, and I thought it is not good to work and not be in a union. And then there was this FAU close, and I was anyway an anarchist or anarchist punk or whatever, anarchist punk and squatter or something like that. And there was the office of the union quite close to my home. And yes, I went there and got the membership. The job soon, I had to get up very early for this job, and to be honest, I'm not so good in that. That's why I lost this job quickly, but I stayed unemployed member of the FAU. And I mean, in this time, FAU was a very small organization. We had in Germany wide about 200 members. Now, I mean, it's not a big union, but still Berlin have about 800 members, FAU in Berlin. Just it's another something else.
Yeah.
We were about 20, 30 members in Berlin in this time. But then we had a new government, a Social Democrat Green government. And interestingly, exactly this government made reforms, neoliberal reforms about unemployment money. Important to understand that unemployment was totally endemic in Eastern Germany. And also, I mean, also in Eastern Berlin. Berlin was a poor city, and when the wall was falling down, all the industry was broken down. So it was completely normal to be unemployed. Also being young and unemployed, no one was, and they changed a lot. They changed the rules about this money and made it more difficult to get it and so on. There was quite a huge movement against that, and in this movement I engaged a lot. I think it was about 2002 or something like that. Some months ago I wrote a longer article about that, but it was a really huge movement. I think it was the last true social movement in Eastern Germany, which was dominated from the left, from a wide spectrum of the left, but from the left, and we as FAU played a role in it.
And FAU was a part of this movement.
We were part of this movement, yeah. And
against unemployment and against the government.
Mainly against our idea was to support and be as unemployed people, fight for our rights. Also the fight for unemployment money and so on, and for good. Unemployment money is also connected to the jobs, because if you can live unemployed quite okay, you don't take every shit job for a very small wage. The capitalists have to pay better for the worker when there is okay unemployment money and you can live okay.
For example, which rights? Unemployment. There are unemployment people. There were a lot of unemployment people. And what for were you fighting?
Yeah, for example, to get money, don't get asked for every shit, and don't get pressed to every shit job. This discussion was in this moment, okay, we force them, if the job is 500 kilometers away from their family, we don't care. Or if the job is very bad paid, you have to go, doesn't matter. If it's so bad paid, and so on, and they could... And the pressure was, okay, if you don't take it, we don't give you money anymore. So, I mean, compared to, for example, Russia, the situation is relatively luxury here, that you get money when you're unemployed. These are social rights people fought for.
Yeah.
And also when you are unemployed, you have when you work, you pay an insurance for the case you get unemployed. It's a bit complicated. There are two ways of being unemployed. There is Hartz IV. There is a normal unemployed money. When you worked for a while, you get money by this insurance for a while. And if you are then not unemployed anymore, still unemployed, you get Hartz IV. This is summer money from the state. And this is combined with more restrictions.
Say a few words. What's the main agenda of FAU as an anarchist organization? So what's the main focus?
Yeah, the basic main focus is more or less to become a union with maybe not so mainly an ideologist organization, and not an organization for the idea, but an organization for the class actually, just for people or people which have no property in their hands and have to sell their working power. Doesn't matter how. I mean, if they write something or if they work physically, but they have to sell their working power and to organize this and at the same moment in this kind of organization, syndicalism thinks is somehow the new society, a post-capitalist society, because people work somewhere, know what's about the economy and the things they work in the subjects they work in the factories and the whatever. So they know best how to organize this. And when they are organized different than in a capitalist way, this opens the door for another society. Basically, this is the idea. But okay. FAU is a relatively small organization, or it's a very small organization with a few thousand members now, and so
Across
Germany. Yeah. Very likely we will not snip with our fingers, and then there is a general strike, and the libertarian communism will come. So, if you think about this, we have to think about this in the longer term. There was an FAUD existing in the 20s, and they get cracked by the Nazis. Interesting question if this history might repeat somehow or not. But however, we try to keep organized, try to win small fights, win small struggles, and get consciousness about society, our position in the society, and about our ability to struggle.
And there are a lot of right-wing idiots and populists who got the power. Putin, Trump, Netanyahu, in Europe, Meloni, Orban. So a lot of people have the power, and it's very sad, very depressive. But on the other hand, I would say that this right-wing turn can mobilize left-wing movements, and for example, the victory of Mamdani in New York inspired a lot of people, and it really looks like a miracle in this desert, right-wing desert. Don't you think that despite this overall right-wing grim state of the world, this moment of crisis can mobilize alternative, progressive people, and it can be a chance for anarchist, libertarian ideas?
Obviously, I have to hope this somehow. even when right now, I'm not very optimistic at the moment, to be honest. Because also the New York thing, interesting, we had a lot of more or less left-wing or governments which completely failed because they could do actually anything what they promised, what they even honestly wanted to do, probably. We can start with Tsipras in Greek. Look to Spain. Also, look now to Poland, which is not a left-wing government, but a neoliberal government in a coalition with some left-wings. But
in Mexico, there is a left-wing government.
And so on. And you see, they can't do anything, and break their promises, I think all these right-wing movements grow on the humus is a social democrats without a neoliberalized social democracy, which have no ideas for the society anymore. But the problem is this kind of capitalism is so in a way totalitarian that politics is just a fake show actually. And when you want to do real politics, you have to really break something. You have to make a revolution, or you just can't change these neoliberal structures. I think we have to prepare for something else and overtake the government with the structures they're here. The problem is, for example, in Germany, right at the moment, a system change would come from the right wing, and would make everything worse. It is. I mean, it's a neoliberal shit here, but I don't go to prison for saying this. And this is the difference.
Let's say we can rely only on self-organized politics, self-organized life, self-organized doings.
I think yes. Anarchism is also about organization. There are different kinds of anarchism. There is this individual anarchism and so on. There is such thing as a society. And so when you think about society, you have to also think about production, distribution, and how how it's possible to organize it in a society which combines freedom and equality. And this is the point that I think this is the main point of everything, that freedom and equality, there are no contradictions.
Мы стоим рядом с церковью. Это вообще очень знаменитая церковь, которая была в ГДРовские времена. Церковь известна тем, она была оппозиционная церковь по отношению к такому тоталитарному режиму в ГДРовском. И священник, Апельман, знаменитый священник, он устраивал так называемые блюз-мессы. То есть они были, с одной стороны, такие религиозные мессы, а с другой стороны, на них играл блюз. И первая такая блюзовая месса, она состоялась в 1979 году. Власти очень, ГДРовские, партия нервно на это реагировала, но священник продолжал это делать. Много людей сюда приходило, тысячи людей, чтобы послушать вот эти блюз-мессы. И он был еще очень важен, эта церковь, этот священник, вдохновлял на молодежь, на сопротивление, создавать какие-то социальные структуры, оппозицию. И многие оппозиционные движения, которые здесь были рядом, они вдохновились этим священником, Апельманом. В общем, удивительная история. И вообще, кстати, церковь зачастую в ГДРовские времена находилась в оппозиции. И позже, уже в 80-е годы, в церквях проходили панк-концерты в ГДРовские времена, такие панк-мессы. Но еще это уже было в 80-х. А до этого вот этот Апельман сделал здесь блюзовую мессу. Но правда, вот как Пауль сказал, проблема произошла, когда Германия объединилась, и Апельман стал членом партии ЦДУ. Это партия Мерца. Ну, в общем, очень прискорбно это. Но за те блюзовые мессы огромное ему спасибо. И что еще важно, эта церковь сейчас, она остается довольно прогрессивной. И они делают, например, мессы для мигрантов, для refugees, и вместе с ними и помогают мигрантам. И вот сейчас вся глобальная, да, с приходом Мерца политика Германии против refugees, вот эта церковь, она за мигрантов и помогает мигрантам, и хранит тем самым традиции блюзовых месс и Апельмана. В общем, большой респект, анархистский. Они съели правильную таблетку.
Interesting is also this here. This guy was in the resistance against the Nazis. But maybe not directly resistance, but the church was split into the Deutschen Christen and into Bekennende Kirche. And Bekennende Kirche was more, maybe not exactly anti-fascist, but not non-Nazi. So and a lot of some price of the Bekennende Kirche also died in concentration camps. This Wilhelm Harnisch, obviously not, but he was part of this
movement.
This is non-Nazi part of Evangelical Church.
Так что, в общем, большие традиции сопротивления левого такого движения у этой церкви. Кайф.
Легаль, scheißegal.
But just a little bit to history, that say a few words, because I'm sure that not a lot of people know about this. Serbians, this ethnic group, which lives in Germany and lived in Germany before it was a Germany. So tell some words about this.
Yeah, okay. And, around 600 Slavic tribes went to west and settled in eastern Germany, roughly. And about 1,000 roughly Germans came and occupied these territories. And then there was a 1,000 years process of Germanization, sometimes slow and peacefully, sometimes brutal. It depends. And the Sorbians are the leftover of this process. Let's say this. It's still existing. It's also a colonization process in a way. It's not, and it was in some parts of the history, the Germanization was very brutal. Generations in late 19th century, generations of Sorbian kids got beaten up in the school for using their mother tongue, for example. In the Nazi time, the language was also forbidden. Some Sorbian intellectuals were in concentration camps. Some also died. But compared to other minorities, the Sorbians were quite lucky and had always the chance. This is the ambivalence of it. It was for me, as a young punk and anarchist, was totally boring. I wanted to have nothing to do with it, yeah? Until I was maybe 28 or something like that. I read some books. Actually, I'm not so much into postmodern politics, but there is a Sorbian Institute which makes theory about this language, blah, blah. And they bring out a book about hybridity of language and ethnicity. And in this moment, when I read this, I found myself in this hybridity. And thought, maybe it's interesting that I have this chance, that I also come, also this small, this Mauerswert, this very small world is also part of mine. I started to interest me and learn some Sorbian songs, played them publicly. And this moment I met Uta and we found this band. And this band was a perfect bridge to Eastern Europe and was really interesting. And I'm so happy that I had this chance. I'm also very happy that we played in Belarus when it still was possible.
You know that I invented my own personal Serbian language, and you know a little bit Serbian. Let's speak a little bit Serbian.
Yeah. Noch zu.
Aber все не божечки, мы можем цигежу и цебрежу, а не резуму. Okay.
Better sing a Sorbian song.
Ja.
Balance to the beat, Peter Birch. Balance to the beat, Peter Birch. To shiny man, balance, Tommy Bollywood cover. Balance to the beat, Peter Birch. Pivo, to the beat, Peter Birch. Pivo to the beat, Peter Birch. To shiny man, pivo raz, to mi nie za mocno raz. Pivo to the beat, Peter Birch. Vinko to pil je na neknes. Vinko to pil je na neknes. Na kneza vunali, Vinko sami vopili. Vinko to pila savares. Antifata, derby mocna być. Antifata, derby mocna być. Też ja nie mam antifu, niem zupić w pokoju. Antifata, derby mocna być. Antifata, derby mocna być.
Легаль, scheißegal.
Paul, your background is punk scene. Punk is a political movement and as a music also. But as a musician, you developed your unique own style, which is quite different from punk music. You play violin and you sing songs and make something similar to spoken poetry, and I really like your style. It's not punk, and it's
maybe exactly this is punk.
Maybe. But I mean, in a very not for punks. I mean, for typical punks.
What are typical punks?
Yeah, and it's a true punk when it's not punk. Yeah, but normalerweise you perform in punk bars and punk small clubs, and do you ever feel like you don't fully belong there, musically or creatively? So is it difficult for you to perform on the stage where everybody makes this typical mainstream punk music, and you perform with violin and I would say very intellectual and untypical, unusual music.
I mean, it's not so. I come from there, so I spent my youth in these places, organized these kind of concerts, played in these kinds of bands. My first band I went on tour with, we were named Köderkacke. Played very, let's say, easy Deutsch punk, easy German punk, with Antifa lyrics and and played in East German punk locations. I still play in these locations. I really like it. Sometimes, for example, to play in places like Bagir, to have these really rough shows with a rough audience, and to play. But on the other hand, I like also the shows. And after a few these kind of punk shows, I'm really happy to have a show where I can play carefully with my violin, have the chance to play piano, and also sometimes lose myself into in a solo, and don't be scared that I lose the audience when I lose myself in a solo. I think for me at least both is important. But really I like these punk shows. Mm-hmm.
Ich sehe uns doch immer auf dem Kolle rumhängen, also auf dem Kolwitzplatz in Berlin. Ich sehe uns doch immer auf dem Kolle rumhängen. Die Leute erschrecken mit unseren Gesängen. Macht euch doch selbst kaputt, bevor es jemand anders tut. Macht euch doch selbst kaputt, bevor es jemand anders. Manche Punks von damals sind nicht mehr die alten. Ich fühle mich, als würde in mir Asche erkalten. Das Gute und das Schlechte im Schnaps ertrunken. Alles versunken. Ich fühle mich wie ausgekotzt als Auswurf in die Ecke gerotzt. Ich gehe aber weiter, den Kopf gesenkt. Verdammt, dieses Elend werde ich nicht geschenkt. Ich laufe schneller, es ist vorbei. Niemand sieht mich heulen, meine Welt bricht in zwei. Macht euch doch selbst kaputt, bevor es jemand anders tut. Macht euch doch selbst kaputt. Manchmal sehe ich Punks so alt wie ich, und wenn ich sie sehe, gibt's ein Herzenstich, ein bisschen weniger Fertigkeit, ein bisschen mehr Glück nach was wir verloren haben. Was wir verloren haben! Was wir verloren haben! Komm nie mehr zurück! Komm nie mehr zurück! Komm nie mehr zurück! Komm nie mehr! Zurück.
Let's go to your next identity as an East Berliner. You grew up in East Berlin, and
No.
No?
No.
But
That's why
you
I said-
raised in
No, I
East
moved
Berlin.
with my parents to East Berlin when I was 13. After,
Yeah,
after Wall was fallen.
But it's possible to say you raised because you
Yeah,
know
okay,
in
somehow.
13.
But
yeah,
also I raised a lot in Saxony.
it's another identity. Okay, but you spent a lot of time in your life in East Berlin. You live in East Berlin, and you are originally from GDR, and in our private talks, you have a lot of references to GDR, and I live in former East Germany, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, and I always observe and I find that in a lot of conversations between people and public conversations, there is this discourse, this narrative that there is a line between East Germans and West Germans, and just I think 80% of public talks are about this line and how to be together or how to be getrennt. And do you think that there is a really big gap line between East Germans and West Germans? How do you feel it?
People lived for 40 years under different conditions, with different ideas what is important and what is unimportant. For example, money in the GDR was relatively unimportant. Other things, to have personal connections was important. Also to get things. I know it more from my parents. I mean, I was 11 when the wall was falling down, but also it makes mentality. There is a sort of East German Vatnikism, which can be hell on earth. There are East Germans which want the bad from both systems. They want capitalism and the police state. These people usually are friends of the AfD. In East Germany, this is hell on earth. And there's sort of a good Vatnikism. People want to have the equality, but don't want to miss the freedom. As East Germans, together we have this experience that we have had a short moment of history. We had the fucking history in our hands. But actually that was not on the 9th of November so much. It was also at the days before. I remember the huge demonstration at the 4th. I was 11 and with my parents on this huge demonstration. There were between 500,000 people and 1 million people in a small country with 16 million inhabitants. I'm not sure if, for example, if I remember the speech of Stefan Heim, which was an East German writer, a very interesting person, if I remember it, or if I what is stronger, my memory or YouTube, probably it's both. But he had an amazing speech for free socialism. Somehow this dream what still what made me a left wing. This dream which somehow keep me alive is maybe too much. You can also live without dreams, without hope or something like this. But
You can? I can't, I think.
Somehow you can vegetate.
As a biological just being.
Yes.
But as a human being,
Yeah,
I need
but that's
hopes
this,
and
this,
dreams.
These things, the memory of this short moment, this speech was, it is like you opened the window in a room, in a very small room full of people. It's like someone opens the windows. And do you know, you all on this big place, it's you open the windows. And this means we have now the chance to come out of this Stalinist shit and build up a socialism which is worth the name. This something like that. This is what this speech was, and there was an audience of 500,000 up to 1 million people, in this moment, all these people dreamed together about a better socialism, and it was a very like a Wimpernschlag, of history. This moment was, but in this moment we didn't know it, and we really had the history in our hands. Actually, we gave the East Germans. It was a huge moment of emancipation. East Germans gave this history to the West Germans quite quickly, and this was the end of emancipation. And from a really moment of huge freedom and equality, people fell on very quickly in a system. It claimed to be democratic, but actually for their lives, the people all these people could not decide about their lives anymore. They were unemployed, they had no money, okay?
They put their lives to the market.
What the fuck is Ware in English? I have no clue about Marxist terms in English. The people became just products on the, let's say products on the market.
Product, commodity.
Commodity, yeah.
Commodity.
They were subjects of emancipation and became commodities in a capitalist society. They gave the history out of their hands. And they did it themselves. I mean, they elected the parties, for example, which wanted to be West as quick as possible. It took half a year to get them there. It was also a stressful time. Everything changed all the time. And I mean, the West was much richer. It was also obvious. You can also describe it in a very materialist, even also Marxist way to why they did it.
Легаль, scheißegal.
Вот сзади меня очень интересная штука. Значит, это такой пункт обмена, который придумали люди, которые живут в соседних домах во время коронавируса. Это такой пункт обмена разными вещами. Просто люди приносят что-то из своего дома и ставят здесь. И, в общем, любые люди могут что-то взять. Здесь есть одежда, здесь есть музыка, диски, какая-то утварь. Это абсолютно самоорганизованная такая штука, которую придумал вот комьюнити, который здесь живет. И что интересно, что вообще вот Паули рассказал, что иногда здесь бывает очень классная одежда. Вот его дочка обожает сюда приходить и что-то периодически здесь находит. Но вот интересно, что все-таки, то есть с одной стороны, такая как бы уличная история, самоорганизованная, но вот этот немецкий педантизм и страсть к классификации, она даже здесь сказывается. И вот здесь подписи у каждой корзины. Здесь стекло, здесь керамика, здесь что-то еще. Вот этот классификация – это немецкий бог. Его любят как в университетах, в Бундестаге, но и самоорганизованные коммуны тоже отдают ему должное. Классная штука. Поехали дальше.
Легаль, scheißegal.
So now we are in a house project where you live. It's a former squat, and tell some words about this. Or is it possible to say?
Yeah, don't say exactly which house project it is.
No, you just.
Okay, it's a house project in Berlin Friedrichshain. 1990, there were a lot of houses squatted. It was a time East German police was paralyzed, but it was still GDR, so the West German police was not here. In this moment, it opens a lot of possibilities. For example, for squatting. Then there was a wave of eviction and a wave of legalization because people didn't want to get evicted. And this time, this house here got legalized. Yes, and it's owned by an association, like a cooperative, with 5 former squats. wie die selbstverwaltete Ostberliner Genossenschaft. It's a small cooperative, but it's quite good to be self-organized. So I'm on one hand part of the association of the cooperative, but as inhabitant I rent my flat from the cooperative. And it's really in Berlin it's quite lucky, because around here people have to struggle a lot with rising rents. Now we make our rent a little bit higher, but nothing compare what is outside happening. Our example also proves that it would be that all these high rents are not to keep the houses, to repair something or to whatever. They are just to for a small minority of landlords to get rich at the costs of the people which need to live somewhere. And this is it also somehow proves that capitalism is wrong. All these houses were a bit partially squatted and so on, but really squat houses were I'll show you when we walked around the corner. There's also an interesting story. Maybe we go. Here might be some light, right?
Yeah, but we should hear, but we can.
Yeah, I mean here this is a Liebig 14. Got evicted. Used to live there. Got evicted in squatted 1990, like all the houses, but evicted in 2011. We just the owner wanted to get us out, and we made a mistake. We lost our mistake. We lost all our contracts, and then it was an eviction. They needed 2,000 policemen to throw us out. We had quite a big movement, and it was sort of a political earthquake in Berlin. 2000, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was quite a big thing. It was a political earthquake. On the other side, the eviction was about 15 years later. It is a Liebig 34. And about 10 years later was it. It was not that big, but it was also quite a big thing. Now the owner even did not renovate it much, but now put just East German migrants, East European migrants from Moldova or something like that. He put in for a very high rent, for very bad standard, for very high rent, and we throw them out, and he take a lot of money to get a flat. And then he throws them out the next month. He's a really big asshole. His owner. His name is Padovic.
What's the name?
Padovic. Goran Padovic. And so this is his usual practice. And so now they're living people from Eastern Europe for very low standards and very high rent.
So they have to pay a lot for low standards, and people from Moldova.
At the beginning, was people from Moldova or also Chechnya, and so they, what they're doing is just rip off these people and throw them out. And they also have thrown out a lot of them again, and found new one, which and at start they have to pay a few thousand euro to get the flat, and this is really. This is actually totally against the law, but no one cares.
A few thousand euro for one apartment.
No, for just get the apartment.
Oh, okay.
And then they have to pay relatively high rents.
The last point. Let's define your identities through alcoholic drinks. Let's define anarchism your music and East Berlin through alcoholic drinks. What drinks would they be? Let's start with the anarchism. Which alcoholic drink is anarchism for you?
Red wine, and very dark red wine from I think from Spain, and it's dark red, very strong red wine.
And I think from Spain and from 30s, from Spain, from this anarchist movement from 30s,
So,
yeah.
No,
From Barcelona.
No, it can. It doesn't necessarily. But it's from. It's obviously from a cooperative, yeah.
Your music.
It's a bit depends. It can be, I think, a cognac.
Cognac like a French cognac or brandy?
No, not a brandy, I think. Maybe it's also a good Samagonka.
Yeah.
But a good Samagonka.
Did you try good Samagonka?
Yes,
Where?
just from our Belarusian friends.
Belarusian friends. And East Berlin?
Beer.
Beer.
Beer and corn.
Which beer?
Ja, Berliner Pilsner. Berliner Pilsner. East Berlin is Berliner Pilsner. Kindle is West Berlin.
We have a chance to make a cocktail of dark red wine, good Samagonka, and and beer.
I think we need some non-alcoholic ingredients too for that drink to make it. It's a very
Acceptable.
No, I mean, let's say it's an unconventional.
Unconventional.
It's quite an unconventional mix, but
But it sounds interesting.
there must be some Saxonian too.
Controversial drink. Друзья,
No, it's better to drink it one after the other, actually.
Легаль, scheißegal.
he was killed here. В общем, история, да, с этой табличкой, что сначала такую табличку сделали сквотеры, вот в память о Сильвио Майере, антифашисте, который был убит вот прямо на этой станции. И они сделали эту табличку, и транспортная компания, берлинская, капиталисты, они эту табличку убирали. Сквотеры ставили снова, транспортная компания убирала. Но потом публичное внимание к Сильвио Майеру было большое, и улицу назвали в честь него, и эта табличка уже стоит здесь, и транспортная компания только пылинки с нее сдувает. В общем, сквотеры победили.
Nieder mit der Technik-Diktatur! Trump wird zu Peter Thiel! Das wird mal langsam zu viel! Wir müssen uns organisieren, wollen wir nicht immer verlieren! Nieder, nieder, nieder! 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 Nieder mit der Technik-Diktatur! Nieder mit der Technik-Diktatur!